we will discuss the economics of waste. Now, yesterday I discussed the economics of FSI, and you understood that FSI flow space index means that you can build a multiple of whatever is your existing land area. So, if you have a land area of 1, you can build a multiple of 2 if it's 2 FSI, 3 if it's 3 FSI, 4 if it's 4 FSI, and so on. But one of the consequences of having very high FSI is that we end up generating a lot of garbage, or what we know as waste. And one of the consequences, or once upon a time when there were no compulsions in terms of so many people, so much density, so many people living in such a small area, when we didn't have that sort of density of population, at that time, for your information, garbage did not exist. Now, garbage is also a conceptual problem. Let me try and explain to you why it is a conceptual problem. I always call it the banana peel effect. So, in India, if you peel a banana and you eat a banana and then you throw away the banana peel, normally what will happen is in this 40-degree, 44-degree temperature that we experience in India, the banana peel will disintegrate very quickly and become biodegrade into mud, or it will dry up and it will become as good as a dried leaf or so on. That is what happens in India with a banana peel. It is the same thing that applies to an orange peel, to a sitafal peel, to a skin of a watermelon, to whatever biodegradable waste you might have in mind. If you put it outside in this 40-45 degree temperature in India, it will biodegrade very quickly and become part of the mud, what we also call it as composting or becoming biodegrading or so. Now, this is the banana peel. But what happens is, if you go to Sweden, for instance, and you peel a banana and you throw the banana peel on the street, generally what will happen is that banana peel will remain there in the snow for the next 6 months up till snow melt comes. And when snow melt comes and the snow starts to melt away, you will discover that the banana peel is exactly the way it was on the street in Sweden. So, people in the northern hemisphere, whether it is in the Sweden or in USA, Norway, European countries, Japan, wherever the temperatures are very cold, they have a concept of garbage and they have a concept of garbage disposal. Because if you do not dispose of the banana peel or do not dispose of the orange peel or watermelon peel or whatever peel there is, it will remain like that as garbage. It will not biodegrade very quickly and you will have to take a lot of trouble later on to process it. Similarly, in India, since we do not have that problem, we automatically took it on as a carryover or as a holdover to all the packaging that we have been using for so long. Have you understood? It just means that you take anything, a toffee, a chocolate, an ice cream, anything. You peel it, you take the packaging, and for you, it is the banana peel. So you throw it on the street. So when you throw it on the street, you expect that that plastic packaging or whatever that is it is that you are throwing on the street, that will go away or that will biodegrade the way the banana peel biodegrades. But that does not happen. What happens is that plastic remains in the system and on the street for millions of years, sometimes thousands of years. In other times, if it is quickly biodegradable, maybe hundreds of years. But that has now become today what we know as the garbage problem. And this garbage problem did not exist up to about 30-35 years ago when I was growing up as a kid. And now it has become such a big problem that it is becoming almost impossible to manage. It is becoming like a monster. And the more and more people we have crowding into cities, the more and more density we have in terms of our population, the bigger is the issue we have to face with managing garbage on an everyday basis. So, let me go into how much garbage we generate on an everyday basis or on an annualized basis. In India, we are generating something like 65 million tons of municipal solid waste on an annualized basis. All right. That simply means you are generating, if you don't know the million, you take away a 10, you are generating close to 6.5 crore tons of garbage every year. Okay, where is this coming from? This is coming from consumption, your consumption, my consumption, everybody else's consumption. Was it there in the past? No, it was not there in the past. Why wasn't it there in the past? Because during my grandfather's time, for instance, in the 1980s, when I was growing up, he used to go to the market on his whatever vehicle, cycle, Studebaker car, whatever it was that he owned. He used to go to the marketplace. He used to go with 2 or 3 steel tiffins, and he used to go with 1 or 2 cloth bags. He used to use the steel tiffins to buy all the wet stuff. For example, if he wanted to buy fish, or if he wanted to buy meat, or if he wanted to buy chicken, it would come in the steel tiffins. If he wanted to buy vegetables or whatever, it would come in the cloth bag. If a large bulk of something had to be bought, whether it was rice or whether it was wheat or whatever, it would come in a gunny bag, sugar, whatever. If a large quantity of something has to be bought, it would come in a jute sack. When these things would come home, they would automatically get reprocessed. The plastic, there was no plastic, so the vessel, the steel vessels would get washed and they would dried up. They would get dried up, and that was it. Milk. Milk would come every day in a bottle. The bottle would come crowned with an aluminum crown. So you take the aluminum crown off, you put it into a receptacle where you collected aluminum crowns. Those would get recycled separately. The bottle, after you use the milk in the bottle, you would wash the bottle. There used to be bottle washers. You would wash the bottle. You would put it upside down for it to dry. And once it was dried, you would return it back to the milkman, who would accordingly reuse the milk bottle and supply you your milk in the reused milk bottle. The first sign of garbage started somewhere in the mid 80s, late 80s, when milk started coming in plastic packets. The moment milk started coming in packaged plastic, a lot of people would consume the milk out of the plastic packet. I do not know if you have a memory of this, but I certainly do. And they would take the plastic bag and wash the plastic bag and set it up to dry the way they would do with the milk bottles. But the plastic bag had nowhere to go. It wasn't something that you could recycle. And that is how the first signs of garbage started to get seen. So, out of the 6.5 crore tons of garbage that gets produced, this is an estimate, about 30% of this garbage does not get collected, for your information. And that is the garbage that you occasionally see on the street corners, in places which are inaccessible, on river banks, on all the places where you see all this garbage matter. It is basically all this matter which is out of place. You collect it and you take it and you put it somewhere where you think it will go away by itself, like the banana peel, but it does not go away by itself, and this becomes the garbage problem. Over and above this, what we are doing with the other garbage is we are taking all that garbage and we are taking it, we think that we are picking it from one place and we take it to another place. When we do something like that, we think that it will go away, but it does not go away. It remains in that place. It just becomes matter which is out of place. It becomes matter which you have collected from one place and you have taken to another, and you expect that it will go away, but it does not go away, because plastic, for that matter, all derivatives of plastic, are non-biodegradable. How big is this problem? I'll tell you how big this problem is. This problem today has become 3,000 dump sites, or what you also know as landfills. And how much garbage is there in these 3,000 dump sites? Any guess? It's about 1,300 million tons. Now, if I just were to take away, if I were to make it simpler, okay, and so 1,300 million tons will actually mean about 130 crore tons. This is the current garbage that we have already got in our system. Okay. How big is the current day problem? Like I told you, it is about 65 million tons of garbage which we are generating every year, which means what we are adding about 6.5 to 10 crore tons of garbage every year to this existing mess. Hmm? And what about this? Like, is this set to, where is it this going to go? This is set to increase. How much is it set to increase by? It is set to double first and then it is set to triple. Some estimates are suggesting that there will be close to 165 million tons. So, approximately 16.5 crore tons of garbage in the next 8 to 10 years. So, by 2030, 2035, they are expecting that we will be producing approximately 16.5 crore tons of garbage every year, which will add to the existing problem which is here. Hmm. Now, this is the size of the problem. Let's start talking about solutions. Somebody says that let's take the garbage and let's put it into a road. Okay, let's for the time being consider this as the circumstance or the antidote or the solution to the problem. Do you know the bigger problem? The bigger problem is that when you decide that you will take plastic and put it into a road, plastic will then become microplastics. These microplastics can be measured only in nanometers, or perhaps they aren't even visible to the eyes anymore, not visible. They will tomorrow become part of your storm water, rainwater, your drainage system, evaporate, become part of the water cycle, and when it rains on you, when it rains, that microplastics will become part of the rainfall that will fall and become part of the water which you will be drinking. So, you are already eating plastic in one way or the other. Tomorrow you will be drinking plastic other than drinking sewage. Hmm. So, this solution is what a lot of people refer to as the transfer problem. Now, in the transfer problem, there are two aspects of transfer. Visible aspect, which is your landfill, your dump site, and so on, and the non-visible aspect. So, the non-visible aspect is when you put it into a road, or there is another solution which people have proposed. It's called incineration or burning the garbage. Burn. This directly contributes to air pollution. So, there are no straight answers. Suppose you burn the garbage also. There are methods by which they are saying that they will capture the air pollution, they will capture the carbon, they will capture the waste, and then they will sequester that, the soot and the dirt and whatever. They will sequester that, make a brick out of it, and then put it into a building or put it into a pavement or put it into something where they feel that it will become a non-visible circumstance. So, if it becomes a non-visible circumstance, we will be able to dispose of this garbage. What is the real solution? The real solution is that you have to live in a circular economy. You have to ideally work towards me living a zero discharge or a zero garbage lifestyle. How is that done? The first thing you do is you segregate your garbage. The first thing you do is you do that. So it is estimated that approximately 70% of your garbage is wet waste, and this wet waste can be composted. It can be taken away and it can be biodegraded and made back into fertilizer. It can be made back into earth. It can be made back into things which will help in contributing to plant trees or go back into the environment and do a good job of it. 70%. So you first work at this, for which you have to separate your garbage. So you first do this. Now you have the balance 30%. This I have already explained the visible and the non-visible solutions to you. But more importantly, what you need to do with this garbage is, and this will be the challenge for you as a future generation, whoever are the young kids watching this video, you have to do work on design, and you have to work on materials. So you have to work on packaging materials which are completely biodegradable, and then you cross this divide and come to this side, so that it doesn't matter. Your banana peel impact or your garbage impact goes away. Or you have to work on design, methods by which you can design all non-renewables out of the system. Remember this. You have to be able to design all non-renewables out of the system. These are the solutions which will last in the longer term, and these are the solutions which will help you work without garbage or build a world without garbage in the longer term. Now, a lot of people might ask me, okay, give us some more data. I would love to give you more data, but because of the considerations that we have lesser and lesser time in which I have to explain these difficult concepts to you, I will try and give you the source of the data. So, CPCB or Central Pollution Control Board has published an annual report. This is the latest annual report on solid waste management 2020-21. CPCB Delhi has published it. Annual report, solid waste management rules based on solid waste management rule 2016. In the contents, you will find that all the data that is required from each and every state, including the monitoring, the authorizations, the thresholds, everything has been given. It's 290 pages or some such thing. So please download this report, whatever number of pages they are on your phone. There may be different number of pages in a PDF. Please download this report and go through it. You will find that out of these 140, 150 pages, there is a lot of data that you can use to educate yourself. Thank you very much for watching this, watching the economics of garbage, and good luck with all the data that you need. I will come back to the first page so you can see it again. Thanks again. Thank you.